Experience the birthplace of jazz music and the Big Easy's dynamic heartbeat in New Orleans through a series of cultural activities, great food, and a symphony of phenomenal jazz players. The French Quarter's dynamic streets are alive with the sounds of jazz and a mix of history and culture. All of these things are what draw 18.5 million visitors to New Orleans annually. In this video, we will explore the top 10 best things to do in New Orleans, including some of the best tourist attractions and local spots to visit. Be sure to stay until the end of the video to find out what exciting activities await you in New Orleans. As you explore this fascinating city with us, you'll discover some of the best things to do in the Big Easy. Without further ado, here are the top 10 best things to do in New Orleans. Number 10, Louis Armstrong Park. The lyrical echoes and intriguing history of the legendary jazz trumpeter's music are what make Louis Armstrong Park a special place to explore or perhaps relax. While wandering through the park's charming gardens, visitors will also discover the captivating sculptures and fountains that honour the city's rich artistic legacy and pay tribute to the renowned jazz musicians that make this city the home of jazz. Number 9. Ride a streetcar. When a visitor, or perhaps a tourist boards a New Orleans streetcar, they are stepping back in time with a little bit of rhythm and style. As the streetcar travels through the city's historic neighbourhoods, you'll witness a blend of new and old that plays a key role in the history of the city. Make sure to take lots of pictures of the older French buildings and historical homes. With its vintage green cars, the famed St. Charles line offers a charming ride through the Garden District, passing by giant mansions and old oak trees that add to the charm of the city. As well as being the primary mode of transportation for some, taking a streetcar ride in New Orleans offers a cost-effective way to explore the dynamic city's culture. Some might even say the streetcar transforms into a moving window into the heart and soul of the Crescent City. Number 8 Street Cultural Museum. Located in the centre of the historic Treem area of New Orleans, the Backstreet Cultural Museum is a fascinating blend of culture, diversity and history that work together to create true excellence. The museum features an array of different events including jazz concerts, Mardi Gras activities and more. Visiting the Backstreet Cultural Museum immerses visitors in the overall soul feel of New Orleans. Vintage or even antique costumes, images, and artifacts will give visitors a good idea of the African-American heritage of the city and its significant influence on the local art scene. The museum serves as a living example of the strong historical impact on the city, while also preserving timeless artifacts that will forever remind those of the city's interesting past. Number 7. Jackson Square. Tucked away in the heart of the French Quarter, Jackson Square in New Orleans is no stranger to historic charm, with singers, painters, and fortune tellers around the square's perimeter under the shadows of centuries-old oak trees. The famous St. Louis Cathedral, with its breathtaking triple spires, towers over Jackson Square and lends an air of classic elegance to the lively scene. Guests can opt to take a leisurely stroll around the square if interested. Yet Jackson Square is a must-see location in the Crescent City. If you choose to wander around the square's cobblestone streets, you'll find small shops, quaint cafes, and an everlasting sense of southern hospitality. Number 6. The Voodoo Museum. The New Orleans Voodoo Museum invites guests into a world where history and magic collide. Invite an immersive experience into the fascinating realm of voodoo practices. The museum offers guests a look into voodoo culture, showcasing its African, Caribbean, and Creole influences that have woven themselves into the fabric of New Orleans culture. Gaining a deeper understanding of this sometimes misunderstood practice and its continuing influence on the city's identity is key when learning more about the city of New Orleans. Within the museum, guests can explore the elaborate rituals, captivating artifacts, and the fascinating history of voodoo in the Big Easy. Refine. Frenchman Street. Frenchman Street in New Orleans is the place to go for live music and lively nightlife. The street pulses with an exhilarating energy that cannot be replicated elsewhere. This soulful boulevard, lined with a diverse array of jazz clubs, blues bars, and funky tunes, provides a genuine look into the city's unmatched music scene. Frenchman Street is the heart of live music in New Orleans. and both locals and visitors can enjoy the soulful melodies that flow from the many local clubs, creating an unforgettable experience. Number 4, a tour through the bayou. Taking a bayou tour in New Orleans reveals the enigmatic beauty of the Louisiana marshes, where the symphony of nature blends with the mesmerizing melody of Cajun culture to create a special experience for visitors. As your experience guide shares the secrets of the bayou, glide along the serene waterways while viewing local wildlife such as alligators, snakes, turtles, cypress trees, and Spanish moss. The earthy aroma of marshes and the sweet scent of magnolias fill the air as you experience the heart of Louisiana's natural wildlife. A bayou tour in New Orleans encourages visitors to engage with their wild side and experience a different side of New Orleans, one perhaps you might not have thought of seeing. It can be well worth it for the environmental euthanasiast out there. Mardi Gras World. Showcasing the exquisite artistry of float and costume design, Mardi Gras World in New Orleans provides a compelling behind-the-scenes glimpse at the magic and workmanship that bring the city's world-renowned Mardi Gras celebrations to the forefront. Discover a kaleidoscope of colours as you enter Mardi Gras World, surrounded by enormous floats and bright colours that were formerly paraded through the vibrant streets of New Orleans during the renowned Mardi Gras celebrations. At Mardi Gras World, guests can watch master craftsmen in action as they carve and paint intricate floats that serve as the focal points of the yearly parade. Through the entire experience, watch out for the hardworking men and women whom work tirelessly to create new, show-stopping floats each year. More than just a museum, Mardi Gras World is a vibrant cultural centre where locals and tourists alike can feel the spirit of Mardi Gras all year long. This museum also offers interactive, fun activities that educate visitors on New Orleans' more festive traditions. And if you're lucky, you might get to try on some of the traditional regalia worn during Mardi Gras. Number 2, Steamboat Natchez. Reminiscent of the heyday of New Orleans riverboat travel, the Steamboat Natchez is a famous paddle wheeler that sails along the Mississippi River in style. The Natchez, with its elegant white facade and vintage design, entices travellers to experience a timeless cruise while getting up close and personal with breathtaking views of the cityscape and the steady beat of jazz playing in the background. Every visitor aboard Steamboat Natchez will enjoy the fully immersive experience that is offered. With the help of a smooth churning paddle wheel and a fantastic guide, guests will learn everything they need to know about the local, rich history, vibrant culture, and if the timing is just right, you may spot some wildlife too. Number 1, the French Quarter, the Vieux, or French Quarter in New Orleans is a historic district that just shines like a beacon of light. The French Quarter of New Orleans boasts a distinct combination of architectural beauty and a vibrant culture like no other. Wander its winding cobblestone lanes like a true local, inviting the real soul and Creole culture to add a bit of extra spice to your day. The French Quarter is a must-visit district for visitors looking to experience the spirit and soul of New Orleans. Home to famous buildings like Jackson Square and St. Louis Cathedral, this region of the city displays its Spanish colonial roots in combination with its heavy Creole influence to showcase the ultimate cultural fusion that goes on in the Crescent City. I've seen some talented street performers, and Bourbon Street's contagious energy and the place comes to life. New Orleans, a city brimming with culture, entices travellers around the world with its distinct combination of music history and delicious food. These 10 attractions provide a fascinating glimpse into the heart of the Crescent City, from the famous French Quarter and its bustling streets to the iconic St. Louis Cathedral and the soulful sounds of Frenchmen Street. Experience the enchantment of Mardi Gras World, ride the charming St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, and discover the colourful mosaic of this legendary city. New Orleans, a city known to be full of fascinating stories just waiting to be told.